Defendant Jose Morales is on trial for allegedly murdering his girlfriend, a woman whom he shares a one-year-old daughter with. And his daughter, little baby Vanessa, hasn't been seen since her mother's death. So this hour, we're going to be showing you some unaired footage from the trial. It's just started to get underway. So let's give you the background on this case. Court TV's Julia Janae reports.
Jose Morales charged with murder in the fatal beating of his girlfriend, Christine Holloway. On December 2nd, 2019, Holloway's employer and family called police to do a welfare check at her home. Police found her dead in a bathtub, and Vanessa Morales, the couple's baby, had vanished. Vanessa was just a year old when she disappeared. WSFB News was there for a police conference on the case.
Jose Morales was the last known person to be seen with baby Vanessa. We'll continue to follow any lead that we get to see if we can find baby Vanessa and bring her home.
Jose Morales told investigators he would never hurt Vanessa or Christine, but police say his story then changed. At first he said he was never at Christine's house on the weekend she died. Then he claimed his use of the drug PCP clouded his memory, so much so that he could only recall a group of men approaching the home and then being knocked unconscious. Evidence against Morales includes blood on his sneakers, his hair found tangled in Christine's fingers during her autopsy, and surveillance video of his car near donation bins where items with Christine's blood on them were located. Connecticut Insider spoke with Christine's sister-in-law.
Now we can prove that Jose committed the crime, and there will be justice for my sister-in-law, Christine.
That was Julia Janae reporting there for us. Now, there were no opening statements given in this trial. If you recall, this isn't the first time we've seen that in Connecticut. Things are customary in different places for different reasons, and there it's just customary to get right into the evidence. So let's dive right in together to day one of this case. We're starting with the first witness who was called, the victim's employer. Here we go.
In December of 2019, did you know a woman by the name of Christine Holloway?
Yes.
How did you know Christine Holloway?
She was my employee.
And do you know the child that she had? Was it a boy or a girl?
A girl.
And do you know what she named it?
Vanessa. Yeah.
And did you know who Vanessa's father was?
Yes.
And do you know that person's name?
Jose.
And is that the Jose you knew as the father of Vanessa Morales?
Yes, Vanessa looks just like him.
And after Vanessa was born and while Christine was at work, do you know what happened to Vanessa? Where would Vanessa be while Christine was working?
She was at the daycare as well.
Okay. So I just want to be sure that I'm understanding you. When Christine went back to work after Vanessa's birth, did Vanessa become a student or in care at the daycare center?
Yes.
So when Christine was at work, would Vanessa be with her at work?
Yes.
And was it always like that? Was baby Vanessa always with Christine?
Yeah, baby Vanessa was in her mom's classroom in the infant room.
That sheet showed us that she was due at work Monday morning following that long weekend at 8:30. And was 8:30 her scheduled start time?
Yes.
Now, during the time that you knew Ms. Holloway, would she show up at 8:30 to begin her shift?
No, Christine pretty much always came early.
What time would Christine normally get to work when she was due into work by 8:30?
Around 8:10, 8:15.
And when she arrived, at least after Vanessa had been born, would Vanessa be with her?
Yes.
And did there come a point in time on Monday, December the 2nd of 2019, where you were expecting Miss Holloway for work and she did not show up?
Yes.
And do you recall at what point did you sort of become aware that Christine had not shown up for work yet?
It was probably about 20 after 8 or so.
What steps did you take after that?
We began to call at some point family members that were listed on her paperwork.
What was in your mind at this point in time with regard to the fact that it's after 9 now and Christine hasn't shown up, and what were you thinking?
Well, even before 9, I mean, I was concerned because it wasn't like her. She was always consistent, always on time or before time. And so I was just hoping nothing had happened to her.
Did there come a point in time then in the day on now Monday, December the 2nd, I think you told us that you reached out to the Ansonia Police Department.
Yes, I did.
Did you recall approximately what time that was?
I don't know, maybe close to afternoon. I'm not sure.
I'm sorry?
Close to afternoon time. I'm not sure of the time.
Okay. And when you called the Ansonia Police Department, what if anything did you make a request with regard to their services?
I did. Yes. Should I?
What did you request?
I asked them if there was a way that they could do sort of a wellness check to see if she was home, because we had not heard from her and she didn't show up for work.
And did they indicate to you that they would perform this welfare check?
Yes, they did.
And did there come a point in time that you heard back from the Ansonia Police Department?
Yes.
And were they able to locate Christine Holloway?
No.
After that return phone call from Ansonia Police, did you reach out to or attempt to reach out to Christine or to anybody else in any other way?
My assistant and I, we tried to contact. I'm sorry.
Witness could just testify to what she did and not what her assistant did, please.
Unless she has knowledge of what if she was there.
Hold on a moment. Let's start again. The question was, did you reach out? That basically is a yes or no. So why don't we start there? I'm going to strike any answer and we'll get an answer to the question. So did you reach out to anyone else was the question? Although
yes.
There's more information in the question, but all right. So the answer is yes. Your follow-up, Attorney Stein?
And how did you reach out?
Facebook.
Did you message Christine Holloway?
I don't think I messaged Christine.
Who did you message?
Mr. Morales.
Did you ever receive a response to that message?
No.
I want to take you to Monday, December 2nd. Okay, this is the operative day that Christine didn't show up for work.
Yes.
Okay. I believe you testified that you had called Christine's cell phone. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the records indicate that there were a whole number of phone calls, and were some of them made by you and some of them perhaps made by your assistant?
Possibly.
Okay. Well, I don't want to confuse you here. Let me go through what the phone records indicate.
Sure.
Would you tell me whether or not you recall whether or not you would have made a phone call to Christine's cell phone? Okay. All right.
Objection,
I
Your
could
Honor.
try.
He's going to read from a document, not in evidence.
I'm not reading from a document, not in
So, well,
evidence.
to the extent that we're talking about a record that contains phone calls, Attorney Galvin, it would be a document not in evidence. If you'd like to question her relevant to independent recollection or
Okay.
independent knowledge, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Do you recall if you called Christine's cell phone at 8:43 in the morning on Monday, December 2nd, which would have been about 15 minutes after school had started?
I can't recall exact time, but I would have called her earlier that morning, yes, when she didn't show up.
Well, let me do it the easy way for you, okay? It's 5 years ago, and I know you don't know the exact times. Were there multiple phone calls to Christine's phone?
I'm sure we made several calls, yeah.
And just so the record's clear, you personally made calls, and when you say we, is that referring to your assistant?
Correct.
But you have a recollection of calling in the afternoon time frame to the Ansonia Police Department,
Absolutely.
right? And
Well,
that was, sorry.
at some point in time, whether it was afternoon or late morning, I'm not, again, the time, it eludes me at this point.
That's totally fine. I appreciate your candor. But certainly you have a recollection at some point during the course of the day, and it wasn't late in the evening,
No.
you had contacted the Ansonia Police Department and requested a record check. Is that correct?
A wellness check, yes.
A wellness check, correct? And was that at her residence at 6.5 Myrtle Avenue?
Yes.
Okay. And you asked them, could you please go? This is where our records indicate she resided.
Oh, I knew she resided there.
Okay.
Yes.
Had you been to 6.5 Myrtle?
Yes. Not inside, just driving by.
Just driving by.
Right before she actually moved in.
Right before she moved in. Okay, well, that was nice of you to go ahead and do that. So you called the Ansonia Police Department, requested the wellness check, and did they contact you back after that?
Yes, I asked them if they could call me back.
Okay. And did they do that?
They did.
That's great. Okay. But you didn't go up to 6.5 Myrtle on Monday, December 2nd, 2019?
No.
Thank you very much for your time. I have no other questions.
Thank you.
Okay, and Christine Holloway would be found dead in her home. That's why she didn't show up for work. Who killed her? We'll have more testimony in the trial of Jose Morales next.
Lori Daybell.
Already convicted for the murders of her children.
Doomsday Cult mom is now lawyer Lori.
She's representing herself.
On charges of conspiring to murder her fourth husband.
She said, I can murder you now.
She really thinks she's equipped to try this case.
She appears very sure of herself.
I have real trial experience.
It's going to be a strange trial. We'll see how it plays out.
The Cult Mom Conspiracy Trial. Live coverage continues Monday morning on Court TV.
Taking you back to Connecticut now for a brand new trial we're airing for you here on Court TV. The trial of defendant Jose Morales. He's 48 years old and accused of murdering his girlfriend Christine Holloway. So they also share a young daughter together. Look at beautiful little Vanessa there on the right. She hasn't been seen since her mother's murder back in 2019. And guess what? Nobody's been charged with that child's disappearance. Apparently it's still a missing persons case and it's open. What in the world's that about? And we're going to talk about that in a couple of seconds. First, let's go back in the courtroom. We've got another witness on the stand. We've got Officer Paul Smith, who investigated the welfare check that was done for Christine Holloway. Here's what he found.
The earlier call was for a welfare check on a female and her infant daughter at a residence at 6.5 Myrtle Ave, and that the officer went there and was unable to make any contact with anybody at the residence.
And do you recall the name of the person that the earlier officer was checking for?
Yes.
And what's the person's name?
Christine Holloway.
So, after familiarizing yourself with the earlier actions by the department, did you speak with anybody at the Ansonia Police Department?
Yes, I did.
Now, just not what they said, but can you tell me who you met with at the Ansonia Police Department?
I met with a Stephen Holloway and a Jody Jacobellis.
And did they generally indicate that they were family members?
Yes, they did.
Did you take an interview from them at that time?
Yes, I did.
And in the course of an interview, were you able to retrieve contact information for Christine Holloway?
Yes, I was.
Did you obtain any other contact information?
Yes, I did.
What other contact information did you obtain?
I obtained contact information for Jose Morales, which was Christine Holloway's boyfriend.
After obtaining those two telephone numbers, can you tell us approximately what time it was by the time you had those telephone numbers?
It was approximately 8:19 p.m.
And are you aware of approximately what time the earlier welfare check cleared 6.5 Myrtle Ave.
Yes, I am.
Approximately what time had the earlier welfare check cleared?
12:45.
So this is it fair to say this is in excess of 8 hours after that earlier welfare check?
Yes.
Now that you had these telephone numbers, what steps, if any, did you take?
At first, I called the number that was provided to me for Christine Holloway's phone, and after one ring, it went straight to voicemail as if it were off or being ignored.
And after you made the initial call to Ms. Holloway's phone, did you take any further action?
Yes, I did.
And what did you do?
I dialed the number on a landline to Jose Morales' phone that was provided to me.
When you made the call, was there anybody else present with you at the time that you made the call?
Yes, there was.
Who?
Sergeant Barrera.
Who was Sergeant Barrera?
Sergeant Barrera was my supervisor for the evening.
And based upon a question that Sergeant Barrera asked, did Mr. Morales, did anything happen with regard to Mr. Morales' answer?
Yes.
And what occurred?
He changed his answer from seeing her to only speaking with her on the phone.
So take us through that moment. What is it that you recall that happened, the question and the answer?
Sergeant Barrera asked what...
Sustained.
Based upon what he asked, what was the response from Mr. Morales?
That he only spoke with her this morning, and that he stayed at his house in New Haven and she stayed at her house in Ansonia.
And did you ask any follow-up questions at that point?
Yes.
And what did you ask him?
I asked him if it appeared odd that he hasn't spoken with her, that she has had no contact with him. I asked him, when's the last time you saw her, or when's the last time you spoke with her?
And let me ask you this. At the time of this telephone conversation, were you wearing a body cam?
Yes, I was.
I have a girl here that's saying that she's the sister of Christina Holloway.
All right.
Is that Christina your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay. She's saying that she couldn't contact her all day today. She said that she talked to you today, and that you said you saw her leave this morning.
I saw her leave early in the morning to go to work. That's about it.
Who was she with when she left?
2423.
Is that your baby as well?
Yeah.
Okay. What does she drive?
Mazda Protege 2002.
2002 Mazda Protege? What color is it?
It's gold.
Gold?
Yeah.
Do you know who it's registered to?
It's registered to her.
Who has the Ford Fusion? Do you know? Or the Ford Focus?
No, I don't know.
Does she have another car, a black car?
No, not that I know.
Not that you know of. Do you have a key to her house?
No, I don't.
Do you know who her landlord is?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. Did you talk to them at all today?
To who?
Your Christina or your daughter?
I did first thing in the morning, early before she went to work.
What time did you talk to them? 6 or 7?
So this is Sergeant Barrera. I have a couple of questions myself. Is this seem odd to you that you haven't been able to talk to her all day today?
Yeah.
Because nobody could get a hold of her, she didn't show up at work, and she has your 1-year-old child with her?
Well, she usually goes to she's on the code, yeah.
I'm sorry? Yeah, no, we checked there too. She's not there. No text message at all between the two of you today?
I tried calling her a couple of times, but she hasn't answered. I tried calling her. She wanted to give her some answer. It was just voicemail.
Almost like the phone's off?
Yeah, it went to voicemail.
We're trying to find her because, like, everybody's concerned because they haven't talked to her. We're more concerned about, your daughter. Your daughter. How old's your daughter?
She's 1 year old.
What's her birthday?
I don't know. I do about it. Some kids in the Haven.
Okay. What's your birthday, Jose?
Mine? 11/12/1976.
11/12/76?
Yeah. September 7th. Birthday.
Okay, September 7th. Okay. Do you know
the baby?
Okay. All right. You don't know if Christina has any medical problems or any kind of substance abuse problems, like alcohol or drugs or anything like that, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that you're aware of. You don't know. Does she have any friends?
She's not, but I'm not really. I don't really know them like that.
I know. Do you know their names at least? Maybe I can try to find out who they are.
I don't tell my head. I have no idea.
Okay. All right. Hold on 1 second. Let me ask you.
He told you that she's driving a Mazda. If he wasn't with her, how does he know she's driving a Mazda? Jose.
Yeah.
You said she was driving a Mazda, correct?
Yeah.
But if you didn't see her today, how do we know she's driving a Mazda?
I didn't see her. I know she has a Mazda.
So, do you normally talk to her at night, like around now?
Like 9:30.
Like 9:30 to say goodnight to your daughter?
Yeah.
All right.
Say goodnight to her.
All right. Well, if she calls you at 9:30 for some reason, give us a call or tell her to give us a call or her sister a call so that we can, locate her, especially your daughter. We're really worried about your daughter.
Okay.
All right, sir?
All right.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
So Mr. Morales' stories kept on changing. This is part of what's being used against him in this prosecution. Let's bring in now for some analysis. Attorney Franz Borghardt watching along. Franz, first impressions as we're just getting through the first couple of witnesses introduced on day number 1.
So my knee jerk from that call is, dude has zero concerns about his daughter. I didn't sense any kind of concern whatsoever about his daughter at all. Zilch. This doesn't seem like a whodunit. It's more of is PCP going to allow us to get away with murder, or no, it's not going to allow us to get away with murder? And that's a pretty easy one, Julie. So my first impressions is good work by the prosecution, and I'm curious to see what defense they lob up there.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought up little baby Vanessa, Franz, because I was stunned when I first heard we were going to be covering this case, and you hear about how she disappeared at the time that her mother was badly beaten in her home. I can't understand how this case is still open. I'm just gobsmacked that this guy has just been charged with the homicide of his girlfriend. So who took the daughter? Franz, go ahead, please.
So just for the viewers, still open doesn't mean closed. So there just isn't enough evidence yet to support proceeding against him as to the daughter. This may be the better of the two cases, but it does kind of make you wonder, they definitely think he's a suspect. They definitely think he probably had something to do with the daughter. It just makes you wonder, is there an absence of evidence to support it? There certainly would seem to be circumstantial evidence that he had something to do with the disappearance of the daughter. Maybe they're waiting, Julie. I don't know. I don't know. Now, ethically, they're doing the right thing. If they don't have enough proof to move forward, ethically, you don't move forward. That's the right thing to do. So I suspect it may be this is their best case, and then maybe there's just something lacking in the other case.
I think you're exactly right. Franz, thank you so much for that. Stand by, please. We're going to hit a break. When we return, we'll hear more from the officer who interviewed Mr. Morales next. Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Julie Grant. Before we go back to Connecticut together, I want to let you know the defendant Linda Sturmer has returned to the courtroom, showing you a live look there of the defendant as she's getting ready for the jury deliberations in her retrial. The first jury found her guilty of murdering her husband, Todd. And because of ineffective assistance from her previous lawyers, she got a second trial. Clean slate for her. What will this jury find? Well, we'll let you know when they're in the room deliberating and we have the clock up. And for anybody wondering, too, we've got the Cementilli jury still out in Los Angeles. I got a couple questions about that this morning on X. They're still deliberating, too. So a big day today for the verdict watches. Now, we've got a brand new trial for you in Connecticut. We're getting ready for that jury to come back to begin hearing more of the case. So what we're doing is getting you caught up with the first part of it that we shot for you, and we just haven't aired it yet. So there's a defendant. His name's Jose Morales. He's being accused of murdering his girlfriend, Christine Holloway. She didn't show up for work. It alarmed her colleagues. A welfare check was done. She was found badly beaten in their bathtub. And her daughter also vanished on that date, little baby Vanessa, who still hasn't been found to this day. No one is charged in Vanessa's disappearance. If you ask me, I think this guy's got a cloud of suspicion over his head about that, but the only charges he's facing currently are murder and tampering charges. So now, let's go back in. We're going to hear more from Officer Paul Smith. He did a welfare check on the home of Christine Holloway and Jose Morales.
There came a point that after the phone call, you went back outside and you spoke to Jody Jacobellis, correct?
Yes.
And Stephen Holloway.
Correct.
And who is Jody Jacobellis?
At that time, I believe she was a family member, is what she told me.
Okay.
A girlfriend of Stephen.
Right.
I don't recall it. Right. Exactly her.
Let me see if I can help you out. Okay. Stephen Holloway is Christine Holloway's brother.
Correct. I know that.
Okay. So we're good there. And Jody Jacobellis was Stephen's girlfriend. Is that consistent with your recollection?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So after you had the phone call that we just saw, right, that was recorded on your camera, is that when Barrera left and went to 6.5 Myrtle?
After the phone call was finished?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And did you then go back out to the lobby to talk to Jody Jacobellis and Stephen based on what you learned in that phone call?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. And then did you stay at the Ansonia PD at that point?
No, I did not.
Okay. Did you go and ask Jody Jacobellis and Stephen Holloway to wait at the lobby there?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And eventually, I know that you testified that you went to 6.5 Myrtle. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And then you went over to 6.5 Myrtle.
Correct.
Right? And Sergeant Barrera, I take it, would have made his way to 6.5 Myrtle before you got there.
Yes.
So when you arrived, he was already there.
Correct.
And he was there with another officer, correct?
Yes, he was.
And that's Officer Nelson, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And did you see them at that point?
I saw them on the exterior of the residence.
Okay, great. So you spoke to them. Did you do a neighborhood canvass late in the evening there on Monday, December 2nd, 2019?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and just tell us, what did you do when you got there?
I arrived on scene. I spoke with Sergeant Barrera, who updated me on things that he located, and he then told me to conduct a neighborhood canvass of the neighbors that are there to speak with them to see if they had seen Christine, the baby, or Jose that day.
Okay. And can you tell us what the weather conditions were like when you got there?
It was snowing, and we had several inches of snow on the ground.
Okay. And then when you say neighborhood canvas, was that you going up and down the side streets and Myrtle Avenue to see if there were any neighbors that were there?
Yes, we'd go door to door, knock on the door, hope for someone to come to the door so that we could speak with them to see if they had seen, heard, or know anything about the people whom we are looking for.
Were you aware when you conducted the canvass that the body of Christine Holloway was found in the residence of 6½ Myrtle?
Yes, I was.
Okay. I have no other questions. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, officer.
Attorney Stein, any redraft?
Yes, Your Honor, just one brief question.
You may proceed.
During this canvass, Officer Smith, in addition to asking the questions that you were asked, did you ask anything about cameras, ring cameras, or any other surveillance systems that people in the neighborhood might have had?
Yes, I did.
Is that part of the standard questions that you would be asking or other officers would be asking when you're doing a canvass such as this?
Yes, it is.
And if the people have cameras, is that something that you would ultimately record in a report?
Yes.
For follow-up by some other officer?
Yes.
No other questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
When we come back, we're going to hear from another witness who had a phone call with the defendant. Remember, the ever-changing stories are part of what lands him in jail with the charges. We'll be right back.
Confessing to a murder on camera.
We're here to try and understand the mindsets behind your actions in this case. It sounds like you lost control of yourself.
Not at all. No, not at all. I'm done with this interview.
That's so conniving. Do you understand that?
Well, I'm your worst nightmare, David.
Interview with a Killer, a special 2-hour season premiere. Sunday, 8 Eastern and Pacific, only on Court TV.
Thanks for being with us on this Friday morning. I'm Julie Grant. We're in Connecticut watching a brand new trial. And before we go back there together, I want to show you the clock that's ticking on the bottom of your screen, the jury deliberation clock for defendant Linda Sturmer. What will this second jury find in her retrial? We'll keep our eyes and ears open in that courtroom for you in Michigan as the deliberations are officially underway for that verdict watch. Now, returning to Connecticut, this is day number 1 that we're showing you of the trial of a man named Jose Morales. He's accused of murdering his girlfriend, Christine Holloway. And by the way, they have a daughter together who's missing this morning, a beautiful baby named Vanessa. No one is charged yet, still considered a missing persons case. I've got some suspicions. How about you? Let's go back into the courtroom and take a listen to a lieutenant testifying about a call he had with Mr. Morales where, you guessed it, he changed his story.
Were you present when the phone call was being made?
Yes, I was.
At any point during the phone call that you were observing, did you interject or become involved in the conversation?
Yes, I did.
Did you ask questions?
I did.
She left early this morning from your house, so what time did you guys show up at your house last night?
No, it's not my house. I live in New Haven.
No, right, in New Haven. She slept there last night, correct?
No, she slept at her house.
Oh, okay. Oh, then you guys both left her house together this morning.
No, I talked to her.
Okay, so you talked to her this morning?
Yes.
At 7 o'clock when she was leaving for work?
Yes.
Okay. When's the last time you saw her then?
Was it Friday?
Friday. Where was she when you saw her?
At my house.
At your house, okay.
All right, so when you...
So now, when you asked Mr. Morales, she slept there last night. Why did you ask him that?
Because early in that conversation, he had stated that he last saw her leave that morning with Vanessa for work.
And did you make any assumptions based on that statement?
Yes, I assumed that they were together, and I was trying to ascertain what time they got to the house that evening prior.
And at some point in time, did Mr. Morales change that earlier statement?
Yes, he did.
And what did he indicate to you?
He now indicated that he didn't see them on Monday morning, that in fact that he only spoke to them, and that the last time he did see them was on Friday.
When the conversation ended, what, if anything, did you do next?
At this point, I advised Officer Smith that I was going to be heading to 6.5 Myrtle Ave with Officer Nelson there. I wanted to see the residence for myself.
And can you describe the conditions at the time once you left the Ansonia Police Department?
That night it was actively snowing. It had snowed for several hours. When I arrived on scene, there was some accumulation of snow already.
When you arrived on the scene there, what observations did you make?
On the front door, we observed a note left behind by Christine Holloway's family asking her to contact them when she returned home. We also noticed that that there was 2 locks on the door, a deadbolt and a knob.
Well, let me ask you this. When you got to the scene, did you meet with Officer Nelson?
I did.
And was Officer Nelson there before or after you arrived?
Officer Nelson was there prior.
Okay. And did Officer Nelson point anything out to you upon your arrival?
He did. He pointed out a skylight that was left open to the front of the house.
And is it at that point in time that you approached the doorway to 6.5 Myrtle?
It is.
Showing you what has been marked as stage 4. Can you tell me, do you generally recognize what this is?
Yes, it's a photo of 6.5 Myrtle Ave taken from the street view.
Can you tell me what you recognize that to be?
That is the front door of 6.5 Myrtle Ave.
It's a little grainy. Are you able to see the skylight right in here?
Yes.
And what do you recognize this to be?
Those are the 3-car garage that are located beneath 6.5 Myrtle Ave toward the rear of the property.
Did you make an observation with regard to this window that is above the center bay there?
I did.
And what did you...
Okay, we're going to hear the observation about the window in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to bring back in Attorney Franz Borchardt. Franz, looking at this from the defense side for a moment, if you would kindly, please, what might be the defense we're seeing here? Is this going to be some other person committed this crime, not the person who's been accused?
So either I did it, but I wasn't in my right mind, which is problematic, or this is a circumstantial evidence case and my inconsistent stories are not necessarily proof of culpability. Both are problematic, right? Route one, if it was like a crime of passion or a something that where the specific intent was disturbed or affected, at least there's I mean, I want to use the word possibility, not probability, but possibility of some kind of lesser charge. But this is just, it's the optics of this are bad. Lack of concern, lack of like concern over either of them. Inconsistent stories, statements that are not helpful to your defense. These are all hallmarks of a pathway to guilty. So I'm like I said earlier, this is a tough one to defend.
Yeah, it sure is, Franz. You're right. You know, and that if he did this, let's just say, you know, let's say if police are right, if they got the right guy, they're saying that he had the wherewithal to dump some things in a nearby donation bin, things that link him to the crime, victims' bloods on some of the items. He's seen on surveillance video near the bin, but the body of, you know, his victim, if it is him, he leaves in his house to be discovered nude and badly beaten in the bathtub. So you know, it kind of leaves me perplexed a little bit. Like, what kind of cover-up was this, if he did this, a really bad one?
So, again, I have a job, Julie, and prosecutors around the world have a job because not all of our clients are the sharpest knives in the kitchen. So, you know, with the exception of my innocent clients, who most of them are innocent.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're all brilliant friends.
But my point is people who commit crimes sometimes do stupid stuff. Now, I could see him concocting a scheme that he thought looked good in his mind and doesn't look good in reality.
Sure. Franz Burkhardt, thank you so much. I love your suit. By the way, we'll let you get off to court. Appreciate your insight this morning. We're going to hit a break. We'll be right back with more in Connecticut Live. TGIF, it is great to have you with us on this Friday morning. Welcome to our second hour of Court TV Live. I'm Julie Grant. We've got jury deliberations underway in the murder retrial of defendant Linda Sturmer. We'll keep you posted on that. In California, we're waiting for a major motions hearing to get underway for the Menendez brothers. That's happening at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And in Connecticut, we've got a brand new trial just starting up for you. The murder trial of defendant Jose Morales. He's accused of murdering his girlfriend, Christine Holloway. And another interesting aspect to this is the two of them share a beautiful daughter named Vanessa, who has been missing since her mother's death. Let's go back in the courtroom now. We've got a lieutenant on the stand who interviewed the defendant.
Once you were inside, tell us what happened next.
Well, once we were inside, we realized it was a studio-style apartment with a open floor plan. It wasn't very big. It was essentially the same size as the three-car garage beneath. I proceeded to go in first. Officer Nelson followed behind. When I proceeded straight through, Officer Nelson went to my left. Directly on my right-hand side, I observed a crib and a rocking chair. When I shined my light inside that crib, I noticed there was no sheets or bedding on that crib. I proceeded to go into the living room, where I noticed the ceiling fan was left on and it was set at high. I continued into the bedroom of that residence and noticed again that bed had no sheets or blankets on it. At this point, Officer Nelson, I could hear yell something to the effect of, "Oh, oh," and it was coming from the bathroom area. At this point, I immediately proceeded to the bathroom. When I walked into the bathroom, I noticed in the tub a pale, naked female body laying in there. Next to her was what appeared to be a human internal organ, now laying outside her body next to her in the tub. Her hands were also covered with what appeared to be dry blood.
Once you made that observation, did you give any instructions to Officer Nelson?
Officer Nelson and I both backed out of the bathroom. I advised him to continue to clear that residence and to look for the baby.
Did you and Officer Nelson continue to try to clear this apartment?
We did. We continued.
And did you make any observations while you were there?
Yes. In the living room, on the carpet next to the crib, was a large dry blood stain. It was very faint, almost like it appeared to have been recently washed.
Had you noticed it when you came in?
I did not.
Did you continue to look around the apartment for the child?
Yes, we did.
Were you able to find the child?
No, I was not.
When you ended up clearing the apartment, what further steps did you take after that?
Once we cleared it, I had Officer Nelson and I retreat from the residence to secure that crime scene.
And during this entry, were you wearing your department-issued body-worn camera?
Yes, I was.
Just trying to make contact with that number 6.5 Myrtle Ave. They came out, they said no car was in the driveway, no car was here. And then yeah, but there's no mail in the mailbox, I don't think. There's no mail in her bed. Yep, nobody's home. But we can't find. They're back here. Like, listen, she had a mother of a 1-year-old. She always shows up at work. She always contacts us. We haven't heard from her. This is really, really bad. We have a bad feeling. Talked to the boyfriend. Boyfriend says I haven't seen her. I haven't talked to her all day. I talked to her in the morning, but I haven't seen her. We just get to the house now. There's a couple windows open on the second floor, which is really odd because obviously it's freezing out. I had him do a neighborhood canvas. One of the neighbors said, "Hey, I saw him driving her car out of here this afternoon." I can't get into the house. I'm gonna kick in the door in a minute. But I called Steve out just to let you know. All right. Okay, goodbye. Okay, my camera's been on. All right, do you want to,
What do you want to do? I mean, you can try to knock it one more time and then just move it.
no, hold it. 4-3. We're going to attempt to make entry. Police department!
Please.
Police department!
Oh,
what?
Holy get the DV here. Holy
Okay. Find the
back out.
No, clear the room. Clear the house. .430 detail. I'm gonna need you here. Okay. Nelly, clear. I need the bed searched, please, under the bed. No kid. No kid. Exit. Exit. Yeah. Okay, exit. Do me a favor. Go talk to that neighbor. Give me all the information you can get.
Okay. What do you want me to just say? Just keep it. No information?
No information. Just you. Just want to try to confirm it. Sweetie, go do a neighborhood canvas, please. Yep, neighborhood canvas. Names, times, cameras, anything we could get.
Just as that clip ended, you were pacing on that deck and you were walking towards, there was a window on your right.
Yes.
First of all, with regard to the position of the skylight, after you made entry, did you become aware of what what room the skylight was in?
Yes, it was in the bathroom.
Was that window that you were just standing by when the camera went off, would that been the exterior bathroom window?
Correct, it was.
When you first entered in to the property, into the actual apartment itself, you mentioned that you were aware that the ceiling fan was on and was on hot.
Yes.
I'm sure you noted that. Well, why did you note that in your report?
Because it was extremely cold out, windows were open, and no need to have a fan on in a residence when it was that cold.
When you reviewed your body camera, did you notice candles around the apartment?
I did.
Did you point out that there were candles burning in the apartment when you made entry?
I did not.
Well, you didn't put it in your report.
Correct.
Did you see it on your body camera when you were reviewing your body camera?
Yes.
So you're the patrol supervisor back on Monday, December 2nd, 2019, correct?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And would Officer Smith report to you, sir, back on December 2nd? Were you his immediate supervisor?
Yes, I was.
And how about Officer Nelson?
As well.
Okay, great. So was you chartered to go ahead and stay at the police department on the afternoon shift from 3 to 11, or were you out on patrol yourself?
We do both.
You did both. Okay. Were you out on patrol that day?
At some point that day I was.
Okay, all right. What was it that brought you back to the police station for the phone call that Officer Smith made?
When Officer Smith came in for that phone call, I was already present at the police department.
Okay, so I just want to go slow. So you came in, 3 to 11 shift, you were out on patrol, you had come back to the police station when Officer Smith was there.
Correct. When Officer Smith came in, I was already present.
Okay, great. Do you know who Jody Jacobellis is?
I know the name, but I know the name.
Okay. I'm going to ask you one other name, Stephen Holloway. Do you know who that is?
I know the name.
Okay. Did you interview Jody Jacobellis or Stephen Holloway prior to the phone call that was made to New Haven, Connecticut between you and Officer Smith?
I did not.
So you got there. Was Jose Morales located at 105 First Avenue in New Haven that evening? It would have been Tuesday morning now, the 3rd. Was he there?
I don't know if he, I don't know if he was there when I got there.
Okay. Why don't you explain to us what you did when you got to 105 First Avenue?
So when I was dispatched to go there, it was to actually transport Jose Morales back there. It wasn't the initial call.
All right.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
Okay, let's go slow.
Yep.
So someone directed you to go to New Haven rather than go back to the Ansonia Police Department, correct?
No. From 6 Myrtle Ave, I went back to the Ansonia Police Department.
Okay, and how long were you there at the police department?
Probably a few hours.
2 hours, okay.
A few hours, yep.
A few hours, okay. I'm not trying to
I know you know.
in the exact minute. All right. So you're at the Ansonia Police Department. What caused you to travel to New Haven?
They needed, the DB needed assistance, which is the Detective Bureau, to transport Jose Morales back home.
Okay. Transport him back home from where to where?
From the Ansonia Police Department back to his residence.
Okay. And when you were at the Ansonia Police Department for 2 hours, was that the time frame that Mr. Morales had voluntarily gone to the police department and given a statement to the detectives?
That I don't know.
You don't know if he was there?
I don't know if he went, how he got there, or if he was there voluntarily.
Okay. Did you participate in the interview at all?
I did not.
Okay. And as you sit here right now, you have no idea how he got to the Ansonia Police Department?
I do not.
Oh, interesting. After you left on the morning of Tuesday, December 3rd, 2019, did you ever return to 105 First Avenue, sir?
No.
You never went back there?
From the time I left, I did not make my way back there, no.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this so we're on the same page. Do you remember what time it was that you left?
I don't recall the time I left.
Okay. Was it the afternoon? Was it late in the evening?
I would say later in the afternoon.
Later in the afternoon. Did you assist in the execution of a search and seizure warrant?
Same objection, Your Honor.
I'll allow the answer.
I'm sorry?
You can answer.
Yeah.
I did.
You did? Okay. And what was your responsibility in the execution of the search and seizure warrant?
To assist with the search.
Okay. And tell us in your own words, what'd you do?
I searched, from my recollection, the basement bedroom.
Okay. In the basement of 105 First Avenue?
Correct.
Okay. And anybody assist you in that endeavor?
There were other detectives there, yes.
Okay. And they were searching that area as well?
Correct.
Okay. Did you recover any evidence at that point?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Was there an evidence officer there in case somebody recovered something that it would be turned over to the evidence officer?
That would have been the detectives.
That would have been the detectives. Okay.
Yes.
And your recollection as you sit here is you didn't find anything that you turned over to those
Correct.
detectives?
I don't recall that.
Thanks. I have no other questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right, time for the next witness. We're going to hit a break first. When we come back, we'll hear from victim Christine Holloway's neighbor next.
Cult mom is now lawyer Lori.
She's representing herself.
On charges of conspiring to murder her fourth husband.
She said, I can murder you now. The Cult Mom conspiracy trial continues Monday morning on Court TV.
You feel that? The NWSL is on ION.
It's game time.
Showing off a little skill now. The new Saturday Night Out is on ION all season long. Find ION wherever you watch.
ION, it's on.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Julie Grant. We're in Connecticut this morning with a brand new case for you. We're showing you all the footage that we filmed so far before the jury comes back this morning ready to hear more. So this is the case of Jose Morales. And some of you may have heard of it. It's a case that got national attention. I was just looking at a tweet from one of our wonderful viewers saying that she saw this guy on Dr. Phil, didn't take a polygraph test, according to her. Thank you for that, something I didn't know. But here he's found himself accused in the homicide of his girlfriend, Christine Holloway. And their baby girl, that precious angel, Vanessa, there on the right, she is still missing this morning. Now, let's hear from Christine's neighbor. He's the next witness on the stand.
When the officer went over to 6.5, what did you notice?
Just that he went up and knocked on the door. He was there for a few minutes knocking, and then I saw him get in his car and leave.
Okay. And how long was the officer there?
Probably 10, 15 minutes, I guess, at the door.
Okay. And do you were you looking at any clocks at that point in time?
No.
Okay. So do you have any idea what time of the day it was?
I believe it was around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. Now, at some point in time, you indicated that the officer left?
Yes.
Did you make any observations with regard to 6.5 Myrtle after you saw the officer leave?
About 20 minutes or so after he left, I saw Jose come down the ramp, head across the street towards his car.
All right. And where were you when you made that observation?
At first, I was inside, but I was getting ready to go out because it snowed lightly, and I was going out to clear the steps. And while I was out there, Jose came back up, and he was heading back into 6.5 Myrtle Avenue.
All right. So I'm just making sure I have this right. So when you see the officer leave and you see Jose leave, how long after the officer left?
Approximately 20 minutes.
Okay. When you first see Jose come out, is that what you're saying?
Yep, coming down, heading down the ramp towards the street.
Where are you when you make that observation?
I was in my living room.
Okay. And would that be, there's a window that faces there?
Correct. That's the window I saw him through.
And going step by step, at that time that you saw him, did you notice anything about him?
I couldn't really see a lot of him. I recognized him, and he was heading down the ramp. It looked like he was carrying something, but it was down in his hand, so I didn't know for sure if he was. And I wasn't really that interested because, you know, it's Jose. He lives there, and he's just, you know, leaving his house.
Okay. And did you see anybody else with him as he was walking down the ramp?
No, I did not.
Did you see Christine Holloway?
No, I did not.
Are you aware of whether Christine Holloway has a child?
Yes.
Did you see the child?
No, I did not.
Now, with regard to in this moment in time, he's walking down the ramp, possibly carrying something. What do you observe him do?
He just went across the street to his car.
Okay, and when he got to his car, what did he do?
Well, the actual moments he was at his car is when I was putting on my jacket to go outside to sweep, so I didn't see if he put something in the car, what he would have put in the car if he did, and then he was heading back up towards the house.
Now, when you refer to a car, again, still on photograph 11, is this the car that you saw him walk to?
Yes, it is.
And when you went outside to start clearing the snow, where was Mr. Morales?
He was heading back up the ramp, and actually, I think on the porch itself. And I said to him, like I said, it was sweet casual. I said, I'm already tired of this winter with the snow. And he said, well, it's just beginning. And then he went inside.
Okay. And so there was at least a brief exchange between the two of you at that point in time?
Yes, there was.
Now, at some point in time, did you make any further observations about Mr. Morales?
A little while later, he came out again, went into his car, and left.
And where were you when you saw that?
I was back in the house, and I saw him through the window again.
Okay. And which car did he leave in?
That gold-colored car you described, that one right in the corner of the picture.
Okay. And with regard to, was there any other cars that you had observed parked on the street at that point in time?
There was a dark color or black car parked right behind his.
Okay. Now, with regard to his car, did you make any observations as Mr. Morales was departing in that car?
I heard the car start because the muffler was kind of loud, and seemed like he pulled up maybe 10 feet or so. I don't know if it stalled or if he stopped to look at something, and then he drove away.
Did there come a point in time on this date where anything else that you noticed, anything else happening on Myrtle Ave?
Yes, as I said, heavy police presence. A police officer from Manzoni came over and talked to us again later that evening to ask if we had seen anything.
And did you speak to the officer?
Yes, I did.
Did you tell the officer in sum and substance what you have just told this jury?
Yes, I did.
And did there come a point in time that they showed you 8 separate photos, one at a time, and asked you if you were able to identify the person that you knew was Jose, who lived next door to you at 6.5 Myrtle?
Yes, he did ask that.
And did you look through each of the photographs?
Yes, I did.
And did there come a point in time where you stopped and identified a photograph of a person that you know as Jose Morales?
Yes, I did.
Showing you page 3 of this exhibit. Does this appear to be the photograph that you recall?
Yes, it does.
You know, and Mr. Morales, he had been telling police he was staying with his buddy Hector. He wasn't there at the house. And we got the neighbor saying he saw him and saw him carrying something. And we know later police saw him near a donation bin. In that bin, some items were found, had the victim's blood on them. Let's talk about this. I want to bring in our legal analyst guest this hour, attorney John Mobley, back on the show. John, good morning to you. Always a pleasure to have you here. Give us your assessment, if you would, please. These first couple of witnesses, the picture that's being painted for you.
Well, I got to tell you, I got to call it like I see it. And what comes to mind for me is that direct examination of the respondent investigator. Had so much promise in the beginning. He laid out this very graphic, chilling crime scene where the body was found and the description. And when you know that a child is missing and you're watching that body cam throughout the house and you see that image of the baby crib and the toys, I mean, it is chilling. I mean, I think that's one of those things where, I don't think you can anticipate or truly understand the emotional resonance that's going to have with the jury. And that really had me. And then the poor planning and preparation from the prosecutor kind of started showing itself on the remainder of the direct examination. And, that direct exam really should have been the opportunity, for the cop to continue, or the investigator rather, to continue painting the picture and telling his story. But it became fairly evident that the prosecutor really hadn't read the full investigative reports by that investigator. I mean, he's asking questions that he didn't know the answer to. He's asking questions that indicate that he has a mistaken understanding of what the investigator did and what his role was. And really, the questions toward the end didn't really advance the story. It just kind of, showed the poor planning and lack of understanding of the investigator's role. And I hate that because it kind of killed the momentum. That story should have had a nicer ending from the standpoint of the investigator being able to wrap up his role. So that, again, that in my mind shows a little bit of poor planning and preparation on the part of the prosecutor. Now, big picture wise, do I think it's going to affect the outcome? Not at all. I mean, if you get on Wikipedia and do a search for overwhelming physical evidence in a murder, then this case is going to come up. I mean, it's the forensic evidence, the physical evidence. It's all very overwhelming for the defense in this case, and they're going to have a hard time, really having an explanation for that evidence that ties into the murder. I mean, I think they're doing a great job, proving that he was high on PCP and explaining how that would, be the reason that he gave conflicting statements. I mean, that's wonderful. But that's not the linchpin of the case. The linchpin of this case is all that forensic and physical evidence.
Right, John? Really sharp analysis. Thank you so much for that. Stand by kindly, please. We're going to hit a break, and when we come back, we're going to hear more from the victim's neighbor. We're going to watch The Cross together live. Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Julie Grant. Before we go back to Connecticut, I want to let you know jury deliberations back underway in the murder retrial of Linda Sturmer, showing you a live look at the courtroom. We'll let you know if we hear anything from that jury room. In the meantime, we're showing a brand new trial out of Connecticut. This is a case that got some nationwide attention. Jose Morales, accused of murdering his girlfriend, Christine Holloway. Her body was found badly beaten in the couple's home. And at the same time that the homicide occurred, we know that the couple's daughter vanished. Little baby Vanessa still missing this morning. Right now, a neighbor on the stand who saw the defendant carrying some things out of the apartment is being crossed.
Now I'm going to take you towards the evening hours. It's dark outside, okay? It's still snowing, right? It's still Monday. Did a police officer come and knock on your door by the name of Officer Nelson and ask you if you had seen anything that day in the neighborhood?
Yes, I believe. I'm not sure about the officer's name, but they did come back and ask me actually if I had seen anybody leave that 6.5 address.
Right. And you talked to that officer, correct? Yeah. Okay. And then the snow continued. And am I not correct that that night on Monday the 2nd, the officer came back a second time to talk to you?
Right. Like I said, they came several times. Once I had spoken to him and said I saw someone leave I saw him leave the house.
Okay. I want to just go through that so that I understand. Is it your testimony that multiple officers during the course of the night came to you?
To be honest with you, I couldn't tell you how many officers came to me. I spoke to the police, and then eventually I talked to Detective Esposito, their names, and in between, the timing.
Okay. I know it was 5 years ago. I understand that. You testified that evening you went to the Ansonia Police Department and you looked at the photo array that was just marked as Exhibit 11.
I believe that was the next evening when I finally met with Detective Esposito down at the station.
Okay.
We have to look at the form and check the date, but I believe that was the next night when I actually got to that point.
You had told us that it was the evening of the 2nd. Now you're saying it's the evening of the 3rd.
Then I misspoke. It was the evening of the 3rd, I believe, that we actually got, that I was down at the police station. And
do you know a fellow named Jose Bourdet?
I know other Jose's. The last name I'm not sure about.
The neighbor across the street?
Okay, there is a Jose that lives directly across the street from me.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure of his last name.
That's okay, right? And his wife, Anna?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. So when you were talking to the police officers the second time, when they came back to you, isn't it correct that Mr. Bourdet came over and joined the conversation with you?
I don't remember him coming over at that time, but...
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. The homeowner, Denise Hunt, right? Did she come down? Was she interviewed by the police officers, do you know?
I have no idea.
My recollection is, you tell me if I'm wrong, but my recollection is that you were talking to the police officers and Miss Hunt was standing right next to you.
Okay, if that's what you say, but like I said, when I talked to the police officer, I was speaking to the police officer, told him what that I saw him leave, and if Denise was down at the time, then she was there, but...
That's all I'm trying to confirm with you. When you were talking to the police officer the second time, Miss Hunt came from the 2nd floor and she joined in that conversation. Is that correct?
Not that I remember, but I was talking to the police officers. That was what I was focused on.
I respect that. I understand you were talking to a police officer and they were doing an investigation and you wanted to be cooperative with the police, right?
Right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You're a retired postal worker, right? Okay. Do you recall ever seeing Denise Hunt down?
I'm going to object, Your Honor. It's been asked 3 times. His recollection is he does not recall.
Overruled. You can ask the question. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you recall Denise Hunt being down there with you when you were talking to the police officers?
No, I don't, but that doesn't mean she wasn't there, but she could have been standing on the porch the whole time. It's her porch.
Sure, she owns the house.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So now you testified that Detective Richard Esposito made contact with you, correct?
Correct.
Did you know him prior to that evening?
No, I did not.
Okay. And is it your recollection that that was the following day, Tuesday, that Detective Esposito came? And
I believe it, well, the day I went down and signed the identification was Tuesday the 3rd.
Tuesday the 3rd.
If I had spoken to Detective Esposito that night, like I said, several officers were in and out, and then maybe said, you know, well, tomorrow we'll get together and go over your statement, but.
Terrific. So, would you agree with me that what happened was the following day on Tuesday, you went down to the Ansonia Police Department. I can show you the exhibit, I will if you want it. But that was December 3rd that you went
I
down.
believe that the day I signed this, identified the picture and signed, I believe was the 3rd.
Right, and there was no doubt that that was Jose Morales.
Not in my mind.
No, you've known him for a couple of years, correct?
Right.
Okay. And when Mr. Morales came out of the apartment, he wasn't trying to hide from you. He had a conversation with you, correct?
Well, he had the conversation as he was heading into it, but no, he wasn't appeared to be hiding from anybody.
He didn't see him run back into the apartment or something like that.
No, he walked up to.
You know, had you ever had occasion to call the police regarding your neighbors, Christine Holloway and Jose Morales, at any time?
No, I did not.
I have no other questions. Thanks for your time.